A powerful truth about human behavior is that the things people truly want are rarely stated directly. Most of the time, real feelings stay hidden beneath the surface, expressed through subtle signals instead of clear words. Today we're going to explore those quiet cues that many people miss. In human interaction, especially when attraction is involved, communication often happens without speaking at all. Small changes in eye contact, body movement, tone of voice, and personal energy can reveal far more than words ever could. These signals are not random. They are deeply connected to psychology, emotion, and the natural way humans respond to attraction. Once you begin to recognize these patterns, the way you view your interactions with others starts to shift. Thoughtful moments that once seemed ordinary begin to carry deeper meaning, and you start noticing when someone's interest may be moving beyond simple friendship. If that's something you need to understand, hit subscribe right now and stay with me all the way to the end. Because the final sign is the most honest one the human body produces, and once you know how to read it, you will never misread a woman's interest again. Let's get into it. 1. She seeks private moments with you. We begin with a sign that requires the most deliberate effort, because unlike the others, this one cannot happen by accident. It is a choice. A quiet, intentional choice she makes again and again, hoping you'll notice what she's too careful to say directly. When attraction is building, she will look for opportunities to be with you in more private settings. She might casually suggest stepping outside for a breath of fresh air. She chooses a quieter corner during a gathering. She sends you a message privately after a group conversation has ended. These choices are rarely random. Creating these quieter moments allows conversation to become more relaxed and personal. It gives both of you the chance to connect without the noise and pressure of a group setting. In those peaceful moments, people tend to open up more naturally. And she knows this, even if she never says it out loud. The psychologist Abraham Maslow wrote, "In any given moment we have two options, to step forward into growth or to step back into safety." When she creates private space with you, she is stepping forward. She is choosing growth over comfort, and that choice costs her something. It costs her the safety of ambiguity. She is moving closer to being known. So, what does the self-aware man actually do when he notices she keeps finding ways to be alone with him? He doesn't ignore it or treat it as coincidence. He steps into those moments with full presence, phone away, attention undivided, genuinely engaged. He understands that she is not creating privacy to fill silence. She is creating privacy to see if he is worth opening to. And the man who shows up fully in those quiet moments gives her the answer she was hoping for. She seeks private moments because she wants to be seen without an audience. But long before she arranges those moments, her voice has already been telling you everything. 2. Her voice changes around you. Most people never notice this one. And that's exactly why it's so revealing, because it happens below the level of conscious control. She cannot fake this sign. She cannot plan it. It simply appears. When she speaks with you, her voice might become softer or warmer compared to how she talks with others. Sometimes there is a playful quality in the way she speaks, especially if she enjoys teasing you or creating lighthearted moments between you. She might start developing small jokes or shared references that only the two of you understand. These little interactions slowly build a sense of intimacy without drawing obvious attention to it. A warmer or more playful tone often suggests that she is emotionally invested in the interaction. You may also notice that conversations with her tend to last longer than expected. Even when the discussion could naturally end, she might keep asking questions or introducing new topics just to extend the time you spend talking together. The psychologist Albert Morabian established, the most important thing in communication is hearing what isn't said. Her voice carries the message her words are too careful to deliver. The warmth, the softness, the laughter that comes more easily with you than with anyone else in the room. That is the unspoken communication of someone who is emotionally invested. So, what does the self-aware man actually do when he notices her voice changing around him? He listens, not just to what she says but to how she says it. He pays attention to the difference between her tone with him and her tone with everyone else. And rather than pointing it out or making it self-conscious, he simply matches her warmth, responding in a way that makes her feel the ease she created is welcomed and returned. Because a man who receives her openness with his own calm warmth makes her feel that the emotional space she built is safe to stay in. Her voice reveals her investment. But there is another signal that happens even faster, one she often doesn't even realize she's sending. 3. She touches you without thinking. Physical contact has been one of humanity's oldest forms of communication, long before language existed. A simple touch can build warmth, comfort, and closeness without a single sentence being spoken. When she lightly touches your arm while laughing, gently brushes against you during a conversation, or adjusts something on your shirt, those small gestures carry quiet meaning. Psychological studies consistently show that brief, repeated touches are a strong indicator that comfort and attraction are slowly developing. These moments of contact are usually soft and short, yet they still create a sense of connection. Sometimes she may not even realize she is doing it intentionally. It can be a natural and instinctive response when someone feels relaxed and drawn toward another person. Each small moment of contact subtly tests the level of comfort between you. Over time, the distance between you becomes smaller, and the sense of familiarity grows without either of you naming it. The philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche wrote, "Das beste Menschen ist, das Einbruch und keins Weg ist." The best thing about a person is that they are a bridge, not a destination. Her touch is that bridge, a small, instinctive movement toward connection, before her mind has decided whether the destination is safe. So what does the self-aware man actually do when he notices she keeps finding reasons to make brief physical contact? He doesn't overanalyze it or immediately move to capitalize on it. He simply stays present, warm, relaxed, unhurried. He understands that these small touches are not invitations to rush. They are signals of comfort. And the man who receives that comfort without breaking it, without changing his energy or becoming suddenly tense or eager, is the man she keeps finding reasons to touch again. Touch is the body speaking before the mind gives permission. And there is another signal that reveals what the mind has already decided, even when she hasn't spoken it yet. 4. Her compliments go deeper than appearance. Basic compliments about appearance are polite and fairly common in everyday conversation. They cost nothing and reveal very little. But when her compliments change, when they move from the surface to the substance of who you are, the meaning becomes something entirely different. If she points out your sense of humor, the way you handle difficult situations, your intelligence, or your perspective on life, it means she has been paying close attention. These kinds of compliments reveal that she notices the details of who you are as a person. She has been observing your behavior, your mindset, and the way you move through the world. Compliments like these carry emotional weight because they show genuine interest in your personality, not just your outward appearance. When someone acknowledges your character rather than just how you look, it means she has been watching you with a kind of attention reserved for people who matter. The psychologist William James wrote, "The deepest principle in human nature is the craving to be appreciated." When she appreciates not what you look like, but who you are, she is craving a connection that goes beyond the surface. She is telling you, in the most honest way available to her, that she has been seeing you. So, what does the self-aware man actually do when her compliments begin revealing how closely she has been paying attention? He receives them without deflecting and without false modesty. He says thank you and means it. He doesn't rush to return a compliment just to fill the silence. He lets her words land, and then he shows her, through the quality of his presence and his continued engagement, that the man she has been watching is worth the attention she has been giving. Because a man who can receive appreciation with quiet confidence shows her that what she noticed is real. She has been watching you more carefully than she's admitted. And her body has been doing the same, in ways she cannot fully control. 5. Her body language opens toward you. When a woman feels comfortable and genuinely interested in your presence, her posture tends to open up naturally. She may lean slightly in your direction during conversation, showing that her attention is fully focused on you. Her arms usually remain relaxed rather than crossed. Her legs might naturally angle toward where you are sitting or standing. You may also notice small gestures like tilting her head while listening closely or gently moving her hair away from her neck. These details might seem small, but together they create a clear pattern. Open body language signals a sense of safety and genuine interest. When people feel guarded, they instinctively close themselves off physically. Arms cross. Bodies turn away. Distance increases. But when they feel relaxed and connected, their body becomes more open and expressive. In many ways, posture and movement quietly communicate a simple message: I feel comfortable here with you. The psychologist Amy Cuddy demonstrated in her research, our bodies change our minds, and our minds can change our behavior, and our behavior can change our outcomes. Her open posture is not just a sign of comfort, it is her body actively creating the conditions for deeper connection. She is not just receiving your presence. She is welcoming it. So, what does the self-aware man actually do when he notices her body consistently opening toward him? He mirrors that openness with his own, not performatively, but genuinely. He turns toward her. He leans in when it's natural. He keeps his own body language open and relaxed. Because two people whose bodies are oriented toward each other are already in a conversation their words haven't caught up to yet. The man who understands this doesn't need to force anything. He simply shows up open and lets the space between them do its work. Her body has been sending the message. And when you walk into a room, her entire energy confirms it. 6. Her energy shifts when you enter the room. Attraction often triggers small physical reactions that happen automatically, even before someone realizes it consciously. You might see her cheeks become slightly flushed when you compliment her. You notice she plays with her hair, adjusts her clothing, or fidgets a little more than usual. She laughs more brightly. She speaks with more enthusiasm. She appears more animated in general. These small bursts of energy often reflect a mixture of excitement and nervousness that comes with genuine chemistry. Her body responds instinctively when you walk in. You could notice her posture becoming straighter, her smile growing wider, her attention shifting quickly toward you, even before you've said a word. These reactions usually happen naturally rather than being planned. They are small signs that her emotions are already engaged, and that your presence creates a spark of excitement she may not even fully realize she's expressing. The philosopher William James wrote, "Act as if what you do makes a difference." It does. Her body is acting on exactly that principle, responding as if your presence makes a difference. Because to her it does. Every involuntary reaction is a vote cast without deliberation. And the body always votes honestly. So, what does the self-aware man actually do when he notices her energy changing the moment he arrives? He doesn't pretend not to notice, and he doesn't make a show of noticing. He simply arrives with the same calm, grounded presence he carries everywhere. He acknowledges her warmly, without performing. He understands that the most powerful thing he can do in that moment is not to react to her reaction, but to simply be the steady presence that made her react in the first place. Because a man whose arrival changes the energy in a room doesn't need to announce himself. He simply needs to show up. Her energy responds to your presence. But it all began with something far more subtle, something she's been doing since long before any of this became conscious. 7. Her eyes linger longer than they should. One of the first places attraction reveals itself is through the eyes. A brief, polite glance usually means very little. But when her gaze lingers on you, repeatedly returns, or subtly drops toward your lips before meeting your eyes again, it can signal something far deeper. Even if she never says a word about how she feels, her eyes quietly communicate curiosity and growing interest. Eye contact carries emotional weight. When someone feels drawn to you, their gaze often becomes softer and lasts just a little longer than normal. There may be a short pause where neither of you looks away immediately. Sometimes she might hold your gaze for a moment, then glance away with a small smile, as if she caught herself doing something she hadn't planned. When these moments repeat over time, they are rarely accidental. Instead, they often suggest that her thoughts and emotions are gradually leaning closer to you. The eyes reveal what the mind is still deciding whether to say. The psychologist Zick Rubin, in his landmark research on romantic love, found people who are in love spend significantly more time gazing into each other's eyes. But what his research also revealed is that this pattern begins before love is declared, in the earliest stages of attraction, when feelings are still forming and words haven't yet found their courage. Her lingering gaze is that earliest stage made visible. So, what does the self-aware man actually do when he catches her holding his gaze a beat too long? He holds it back, calmly, warmly, without urgency. He doesn't look away first out of nervousness. He doesn't stare intensely out of performance. He simply meets her eyes with the same steady presence he brings to everything else. And when she eventually looks away with that small smile, he lets the moment land without immediately filling it with words. Because sometimes the most powerful response to being seen is simply allowing yourself to be seen in return. What truly matters is noticing patterns over time, not focusing on a single moment. One isolated gesture can easily be misunderstood. But when certain behaviors repeat again and again, they begin to tell a clearer story. Her eyes, her voice, her touch, her posture, her energy, her compliments, her quiet efforts to create private space. Together they form a narrative she has been writing without realizing it. With this awareness also comes an important responsibility. These signals are not meant to be used as tactics or tools. They are an invitation to develop emotional intelligence and genuine understanding. Real confidence does not take advantage of attraction when it senses it. It handles it with respect and maturity. Genuine connection grows from honesty, kindness, and mutual openness. It is never built on pressure, manipulation, or games. When you begin to recognize these patterns, the best response is calm confidence and genuine respect. Meet her openness with your own steady, grounded presence. True attraction grows naturally when both people feel comfortable being themselves. Some of the most meaningful relationships begin in very quiet ways. They start with shared glances across a room, soft laughter during conversation, and small gestures that create a spark neither person fully expects. Over time, those moments slowly grow into something deeper through patience, attention, and the willingness to truly see another person. Now, I want to hear from you. Which of these signs have you been experiencing, and did you recognize them in the moment or only after watching this? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I read every single one, and I will personally reach out to some of you because your perspective matters and this conversation is worth having. And if this video gave you something real to think about, like it, share it with someone who needs this perspective today, and subscribe if you haven't already because we go deep on exactly these kinds of truths every single week. Because she may never clearly say what she is feeling, but her eyes, her voice, her touch, and her energy already have. Thank you so much for watching all the way to the end. It genuinely means everything to me. I'll see you in the next video. Take care of yourself.